In the middle of the night, bounty hunter Hub arrives at a motel and looks at a wanted poster for Jeb. After gearing up, Hub bangs on the door and says he's a bail enforcement bondsman, so Jeb must come out with his hands up. The TV and lights are turned off in the room, but Jeb just tells him to go away. Refusing to give up, Hub takes the grate off the air vent and using a hook, he drops a wasp nest into the room. Soon Jeb comes out to escape from the wasps and Hub catches him with the hook. However, he discovers this isn't Jeb, it's Billy Earl, who sent a fake tip to make Hub come to the motel. Suddenly Billy's brother Clyde Earl shoots Hub in the back, knocking him down. Then Clyde slits Hub's throat to kill him. In the morning, a very dead Hub wakes up in a space between walls and freaks out. Because of the hole in his neck, he can't shout for help. He starts punching the wall and makes a hole big enough to fall into Billy's motel room. When he looks in the mirror, Hub is shocked to see the state of his neck, which proves he shouldn't be alive now. He also has a claw-like bruise on his arm. At that moment he hears a voice outside and notices his guns are gone. Tater enters the room and screams when he sees Hub, who punches him and hits him with the door to then tackle him, stealing his gun in the process. When he lights a cigarette, smoke comes out of the hole in his neck. Tater admits he was hired by the Earl brothers to burn the place down for the insurance and they stole Hub's truck. He also swears Hub was dead last night. A furious Hub cuffs Tater and throws him in the trunk of his car, asking him to tell the Earl brothers he's coming for them. Then Hub takes some tape from the car and puts it around his neck before leaving. After driving for a while, he stops to wait for a train to pass and checks on his wound, noticing that it's slowly closing up. Eventually he reaches his home and rushes to the bathroom to check his scar again, only to see that his neck is completely healed. After washing up he checks on his mother Kitty and is upset to find her hanging out with Pastor Ron, who banned Kitty from his church. He's willing to let her return if Hub promises to stop arresting wanted people during Sunday services, but Hub responds with rudeness and Ron leaves. Hub asks Kitty why Billy is out of prison and she informs him Lucky bailed him out. Realizing Lucky wants him dead, Hub modifies some arrest documents to make it look like Lucky is a wanted man. His answering machine keeps getting calls from a company named Pot O Gold, so he disconnects his phone, only for all his burner cell phones to start getting the same calls instead. Afterward he goes to the local bar. When he sees Lucky, he follows him backstage and tries to confront him, but he's interrupted by his son Cade and his ex Marianne, who is currently dating Lucky. Hub tells them he has a warrant on Lucky, but Marianne doesn't believe him and rushes to her dressing room. After telling Lucky that he wants his truck back, Hub follows Marianne and tries to explain that Lucky hired men to kill him. However, since he doesn't have any scars, Marianne doesn't believe this either. Their conversation is interrupted when Cade comes in saying someone named Goldpot keeps calling the club with an urgent message, but Hub ignores it. Before he leaves, Marianne asks him to sign a form so she can take Cade to another state for an audition and Hub only says he'll think about it. Then Hub tries looking for Lucky but he's already gone. While driving off, Hub notices the lights flickering in the local church. Ron is at the door and Hub is shocked to see his eyes glowing like pits of darkness. As he drives away, Ron follows him. Eventually Hub makes it to a cabin in the woods and sees Lucky's car outside. The third Earl brother called Tiny is nearby relieving himself. Hub checks on Tater and confirms that Lucky hired the Earls, so he approaches Tony with his gun out. Tiny is shocked to see Hub alive and confirms his theory. Lucky isn't here, Tiny brought the car as bait, and his brothers are inside. Next Hub takes Tiny into the cabin and kicks him through the door before shooting Billy's fingers off. He tells the brothers to text Lucky and ask him for more money for killing Hub as a way to set a trap. While they wait for Lucky, the lights in the cabin start flickering and Clyde looks out the window to see Ron coming. Hub sends him out, telling him to get rid of the pastor. As the light flickering gets worse, Clyde tells Ron to leave only to end up screaming instead. When Hub peers through a crack in the door, he sees Clyde being thrown across the room and getting stuck on a wall. Clyde's body starts twisting into unnatural shapes while Billy levitates on his chair. Suddenly Billy is thrown at the door, which crushes his skull. Hub takes another peek and a demonic Ron looks back at him. A terrified Hub opens fire through the door until he is out of bullets, but the doorknob won't stop shaking. Then Hub escapes through the back door and crosses the forest until he reaches the road, where he takes a cab back to town. When Hub gets home, he finds Kitty chatting with Midge, who is here about his orientation for Pot O Gold. He tries to turn her down but Midge gets his attention when she says that he died and went to hell. Pot O Gold has brought him back but it's only temporary and Midge is like his parole officer. He's been resurrected to do more bounty hunting, but instead of criminals now he has to hunt demons. A flashback shows that last night Ron had been perfectly normal and even used holy water to tidy his hair. When the power went out, he checked the fuse box and turned it back on. Suddenly something flickered on a mirror and sparks appeared on the altar candles. Suddenly a poster with his face started burning and a demon's face appeared on a mirror. Ron grabbed a cross and started reciting the Bible while throwing holy water at all his mirrors, causing them to break. The lights continued to flicker and the holy water began to boil, so when Ron reached for more he was electrocuted and his eyes burned. He fell dead with half of his face burned down, but in a few seconds he woke up and his face quickly healed. In the present, Hub turns Midge down thinking it's a scam. Midge takes out a recorder and asks Hub for confirmation of refusal, but he doesn't dare to say it. Kitty wonders why her son would end up in hell, but Midge tells her that's for him to share. Then she explains demons have been escaping from hell and Hub's job is to send them back. Since he was there himself, now he can see them in the real world. Demons kill her hosts before possessing them, so Hub won't be killing any humans. If Hub fails his mission, he'll be sent to hell too. Meanwhile, Lucky makes it to the cabin and finds the bodies of the three brothers. Nearby he finds a car and checks the trunk to find Tater, who tells him Hub is behind everything. At Hub's home, a fax arrives from Pot O'Gold with the name of his first demon objective and the coordinates to find him. Searching these coordinates online shows them the local church, so Hub has to tell his mother about Ron. Kitty insists she wants to come, so together they go to investigate the church. They find the building with no power, all the destruction from last night, and Ron's half-face on the ground. Not wanting his family to be exposed to a demon, Hub goes to the bar and gives Marianne the signed form so they can leave the state. Later at home, Kitty asks Hub why he was sent to hell. Hub says he has no idea and that it must have been a mistake. Kitty blames herself and thinks she must have been a bad mother. She cries as she rushes out of the room. Hub follows her and comforts her with a hug. Remembering the flickering lights, Hub calls a friend at the power company and learns that there have been surges at the recycling plant. Hub gears up and once again Kitty insists on coming along. When they reach the recycling plant, Hub wants Kitty to stay in the car, but she reminds him she used to bounty hunt too, so she's helping. After making a plan, they go inside and Hub finds a trail of blood with a triangle. When he looks up, he finds a dead worker hanging as an upside-down cross. Suddenly Hub's flashlight breaks and he starts floating. A demonic Ron comes out of the shadows and throws him against the wall while the lights flicker and the truck radio starts on its own. Hub runs to hide, and when Ron tries to follow him, he steps on Kitty's bear trap. Next, Hub shoots him with a tranquilizer and Kitty tries to exorcise him, but neither has any effect. When Hub tries real bullets, they don't do anything either, and Ron responds by throwing objects at him. Ron comes closer, but before he can attack Hub, his body is sent flying by a shot from Kitty's shotgun. It appears the demon is gathering strength to rise again, so Hub pushes some machinery to crush his head. The lights turn on normally while Ron's body catches on fire. The flames soon begin spreading, so the duo goes away, unaware that Tater has been spying on them all along. The next day, Deirdre is crying as she makes a video describing how a friend has been harassing her. When she finishes the stream, it's revealed it was all a lie as a way to get back at the girl currently dating Deirdre's ex. She hears a noise in her bathroom and discovers the water running in the shower, but nobody in it. Deirdre turns the water off, but when she walks away, the shower turns on again. All the taps in the bathroom start doing the same, and when she tries to turn them off, she sees a demon in the mirror. Suddenly she begins to float and her body is pushed into the tub, where she drowns. Meanwhile, Hub gets a message from Pot O'Gold congratulating him on completing his first mission. He looks at Lucky's police file from Boston and asks Kitty to keep an eye on the fax before he leaves. When Hub makes it to Lucky's house, he finds him taking Care to school. He offers to do it himself and Lucky complains, but Marianne thinks it's a great idea. Hub lets Cade drive even though he doesn't have a permit and pulls out the police file to tell his son about Lucky's history with the mob. Cade has trouble concentrating on the road but manages to tell Hub that he already knows about Lucky's criminal past. Now Cade thinks his dad faked wanting to spend time with him and only did this to talk badly about Lucky. At that moment, Kitty calls with a new mission and tells him about a demon that should be kept away from water. Hub tells Cade he's skipping school and makes him drive to the coordinates. They arrive at Deirdre's house and Hub makes Cade stay in the car as his lookout. Hub goes to the back door and notices water pouring down from the second floor. He picks the lock to go inside and finds the bathroom flooding. There also are bloodstains on the walls. On his way out, Hub concludes he's hunting the teenager that lives there, and Cade confirms this is the house of popular girl Deirdre, who he knows from school. In the meantime, Tater shows Lucky pictures of the bodies in the recycling plant. He makes theories about dark magic and witches, causing Lucky to yell at him. While Hub and Cade drive around town, Hub notices all kinds of water sources going crazy. He marks them on a map and realizes the demon is going to the county pool. The duo rushes there and Hub uses a locker room window to get in. The place is already flooding and noises can be heard in other rooms. Hub continues his search and finds the dead janitor at the bottom of the pool. 3 flotation tubes are above him forming a triangle. Suddenly a possessed Deirdre grabs Hub's foot and makes him fall into the pool. Then she starts pushing him down to try to drown him. Hub fights back and manages to stab her face with his knife, but Deirdre continues to push him and Hub starts to lose consciousness. However, the dead janitor nearby reminds him he wants to live and he stabs Deirdre again, this time in the eye. This kills the demon and now Hub can resurface. Soon the body is burning underwater. On his way out, Hub sees a Sheriff Ruby coming, so he hides behind the front desk. While Ruby tries to find a way in, Cade calls his dad to ask what to do and Hub tells him to leave without him. Then Hub uses the desk phone to call 911 and tells them about a drunk teenager driving around, giving them the description of his own truck. Ruby is informed of this and leaves to chase after Cade. Now Hub can get the surveillance system's hard drive to hide the evidence that he was there. Meanwhile, Lucky shows up at Kitty's house and she receives him